In this video, I'm going to answer the 4 questions I get every week. And in the process of answering those questions, I'm going to shed some light on how you can tell your story so you can get more job interviews. Let's jump into the 4 questions, but I want you to keep in mind that my answers are very simple and they may turn you off. So if at any time you feel you want to leave, please just leave. But for those of you who stick around, you will be pleasantly surprised if you make it to the end. So what are these 4 questions? The first question I get is, how do you stand out from the competition? My answer, tell your story. The second question I get is, how do you tell your story? My answer, you tell your story by marketing your skills, your knowledge, your experience, certifications, trainings, etc. in such a way that the company wants to call you and not someone else. Then I often get literally right after that, I already do that. No one is calling me. My response is, like I said, very simple. Then you're not doing it in a way that captures the employer's attention. Your resume and online presence most likely sounds and looks like everyone else. And then finally they say, well, what would you suggest I do? My response is always the same. Spend time with your resume, review what you have accomplished, and determine how you want to tell your story. When you think about your story, imagine a staircase, and each step you take going up gets you closer and closer to your destination. Now, I want you to use that concept to tell your story. And think about these 2 questions. 1, what do you want people to know on that first step? 2, what do you want people to know on the second step, and the third step, and the 4th step, and the 5th step? So think of it as steps and what you want people to know on each step. Now here's the catch. It's not the number of steps that are important, but it's understanding how the steps work together. Now think about walking up a flight of stairs, right? Each step after the next takes you higher. The steps work together to take you to the next level. So let me give you an example to help you understand this. Let's say you have a LinkedIn profile, right? So what most people do is they put everything on their LinkedIn profile. I never recommend that. I always say your LinkedIn profile, step 1, is to provide an overview of what you can do. Then step 2 would be your resume that showcases your accomplishments in various roles that you've had. So what's step 3? Step 3 is during an interview. Well, now you get the opportunity to explain how you achieved the goals. And this gives the employer a sample of what you can do. So step 1, LinkedIn overview. Step 2, showcase your accomplishments in your resume. Step 3, display a sample, how you achieved those goals that you mentioned on your resume. When you scaffold the information this way, it allows employers to take a journey through your experience, and it also gives you the opportunity to tell your story. There are many ways you can tell your story. I'm going to give you 2 examples. So let me start with the first one. I remember I was doing a training, and a young lady told me she wanted to become a nurse. I said, great, become a nurse. What's the problem? She said, well, I don't have any experience. I said, then why is it you want to become a nurse? So she shared that in like a 2 or 3 year time span, she watched her mother pass away and she couldn't help her. And then her best friend's daughter passed away in front of her and she couldn't help her. And so that really struck her. It caused tremendous amount of trauma and pain for her because she couldn't do anything. And after those 2 experiences, she decided, oh, I know what I want to do. I want to become a nurse. I said, great, become a nurse. She said, but no one's going to hire me. I said, no, not right now. No one will hire you. I said, but if you go to school and you do what you're supposed to do, when you get on that interview, they're going to ask you, why you? Why would you want this job? Why should we pick you for this job? And I said, the first thing you're going to tell them is exactly what you just told me. The experience you had where you could not save two people that you loved and cared about. And that propelled you to want to become a nurse. I said, now on the surface, it looks too simple, right? I said, no, it's not. I said, because many people, while they do enjoy helping people, they go into nursing for the money. You are going into nursing because you see an opportunity to be someone who can help others, to really make a difference. I said, so if you share that, your passion is going to come through. And she looked at me and she said, you know what? You're right. I said, yeah, that's your why. That's your motivation. Because without that, you would not want to become a nurse. She said, that is correct. So here's the second example. I had another woman and she was baking. You know the people, because I'm sure you know someone like this, where they start baking and then someone tastes what they make and they go, oh, could you make cupcakes or a cake for my child's birthday party? Then it keeps expanding and they keep, baking and making money on the side. So this person said for 15 years, that's what she was doing, but she really wanted to work in a bakery. And she tried to get a job there at different bakeries several times and it didn't work. I said, okay, I know exactly what you need to do. I said, you make whatever it is that you make, whatever it is you bake that everybody's like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Like, you got to make this for me. I said, whatever that is, you make it. You go to a bakery you want to work with and you don't interview. You tell them, hey, I made this at home. Could you taste it and tell me what you think? So she did that. And what ended up happening was the people loved what she made. And they asked her, hey, you got a couple of minutes? Because we could take you in the back and show you how we do things. She said, sure, I got a couple of minutes. What they actually wind up doing was they asked her to make what she made at home in their facility. And the reason why they asked her, and they explained it to her, they said, if you can make it this good in a conventional oven, we could imagine what you can do in a commercial oven. And so she ended up making whatever it was. They loved it. Like, it was even better than what she made at home because they had consistent temperature within a, commercial oven. And she ended up getting that job. She came back and she said, hey, Sean, it worked. Like, these people really loved me. They gave me the job. I did what you said. I came in, I demonstrated what I can do. And then they tested me on the spot, just like you told me. And I made it and they loved me and they hired me on the spot. I said, great. I'm happy for you. So in each case, both of the people did something different, right? See, my suggestion is stop copying everyone else and be you. Share who you are and what you bring to the table. Stop looking at everybody else. Stop caring about what everybody else is doing. Focus on what you are doing. And you know what? The problem may be you may not know what you truly possess. And you may not know how to present it so you can attract companies that you want to work with. You must remember that every job, every company, it's not right for you. I'm going to say this again. Every job and every company, it's not right for you. I have a video that goes into the 6 different types of fit, and I always recommend people review this in conjunction with all the information that they're gathering about the job and the company, because it's important to understand what's your fit and what's important to you. You need to be very selective of the companies you apply to. Now, my wife and I, with the kids, moved from New York City to Texas. It was smooth. It wasn't any hiccups whatsoever. And I got a pretty good job offer a couple of months after being here. And I took it, but it didn't work out. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was so relieved it didn't work out because I just didn't feel it was a good fit for me. I tried it anyway. I figured, give it a shot. Let's see how it works. But I always felt out of place. I just knew I did not belong there. And I figured since I was in a new state, and that job didn't work out, I'm going to take my time, identify what I really need, and select the companies where I felt was a good fit for me and my family. But I also had to remind myself of something I kept saying as I was driving down and coming down to Texas. And it was, Sean, you did not come to Texas to work. You came to Texas to live and enjoy life and what it has to offer. And I kept repeating that to myself. I was out of work for like 4 months. And I just kept repeating that. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to come up with a game plan. And so my game plan was simple. Because the first thing I said was, I must be able to work from home. I want to be able to drop the kids off. I want to be able to pick them up. Like, this was non-negotiable. Like, this was not something I am going to budge on, because I realized I never really enjoyed working in the office, didn't care to work in the office. I always felt I was wasting my time working in someone's office. That's just how I felt. And so I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just not. Like, I just had it set in my mind. I'm done. I'm not returning to anyone's office. So that immediately eliminated a lot of jobs that I can apply for. The second thing was, whatever company I chose to work for, they have to truly value family. See, I knew I could not deal with a company that gives lip service to how important family is, and they sell you on joining the company. And then the moment you have a family situation, they practically punish you for doing what you need to do for your family. You know, the ones that say, family's important and, we're a family. Yeah, right. Okay. I wasn't dealing with that anymore. So had to work from home. They had to truly understand that my family comes first. Okay. That was it. So that pool of jobs dwindled even further. I was like, oh, great. So third, it had to be a company that tracks metrics and rewards you based on performance. Now, I don't mind being measured. I don't mind being tracked. Okay. I don't mind letting my data speak for me. But what I don't care for anymore, what I didn't care for back then, was I don't like clock watching companies who believe if you show up, clock in, look busy, you must be doing something right. I know a lot of people that I've worked with over the years that was ripping and running in the office and almost cussed, who didn't do a darn thing the whole day. Okay. I'm not playing that game. I never did and I never will. I come to work, I do my job, I go home. And then on top of that, I don't need hand holding. Like, just give me the training. Tell me what you need. Tell me when you need it. And leave me alone and let me do it. And we can meet weekly. We can go over whatever needs to be accomplished. I don't mind touching base, but don't hold my hand. If you hire me to do the job, let me do the job. Otherwise, if you're not going to let me do the job, why did you hire me? So think about this for a second. Got to work from home. Okay. I'm not working in the office anymore. And it had to be a company that rewards you based on your metrics. Yikes. Talking about job opportunities dwindling. And then finally, I had to work with people who wanted to make a difference with the people that we helped. Like, that was very important to me. I'm all about making a difference in people's lives. And so if I work with people who have similar beliefs in that, that's going to make the environment that much more fun. And like I said, it took me 4 months, but I finally found a good company. I'm still there as I record this. I love every minute of what I do. It's very rewarding. And so I got everything I needed. Everything I needed. So what's the catch? Simple. When you spend time with your resume, you identify what you need, and you gain more clarity on where you want to go, it becomes easier to find a company that fits you. Now, have you noticed that this whole time I did not mention money once? Let that sink in. I want you to give some thought as to why, and post below why you think I have not mentioned money at all. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. So my question to you is, how are you going to tell your story? Go back to those 2 examples I gave you. Think about a time in your life when you can use that as an example for the role that you say you want to do. Now let's get to these action steps, because I got something special for you. I'm going to provide you with a worksheet. And that worksheet is pretty detailed, and it's going to ask you a series of questions. And you'll be able to download it in the show notes below. And I want you to take your time, print that out, and answer those questions, because it's really going to help you begin to tell your story and to really understand how to tell your story. And it's a little more to this storytelling thing here, but I at least wanted to answer the questions, the 4 common questions that I get so often. I wanted to at least provide a response, and I wanted to at least get you the worksheet below. Make sure you go below and download that worksheet and start working on it. And hopefully see you in the next video. So you take care, you be safe, and you stay blessed.